Hi, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another video edition of Widower Wednesday. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and today we're going to discuss 5 questions you should ask a widower or widow on a first date. Now, first dates with widowed people can be awkward, especially if you've never dated one before. And I'm often asked what you should or shouldn't ask, especially when you go on a first date. So today I'm going to give you 5 questions you should ask them. And don't worry, if you want to know 5 questions to maybe avoid asking them, I'll post another video on that topic soon. So, like any date, you should spend some time getting to know him or her and seeing if there's any chemistry that warrants a second date. But in addition to gauging chemistry and compatibility, part of dating a widow or widower is assessing his or her emotional readiness, where they are in the grief process, and whether they're actually ready for a new relationship. Now, I don't recommend asking these questions right out of the gate. Take some time to get to know them first, and then when the time is right, you can ask the following questions or maybe slight variations of them. And also, the order of these questions really doesn't matter, and you can feel free if you think there's other questions you should or shouldn't ask, put them in the comments below, and I'm happy to do another video on this. The first question to ask a widow or widower on a first date is, what made you decide to start dating again? And what I like about this open-ended question is it gives the widow or widower a chance to explain their motivations. Now, some start dating because they genuinely feel ready to build a new future with someone, while others want to escape the loneliness or distract them from grief. Their response or hesitation can help you gauge whether they're emotionally prepared for a new relationship or where they are in their grief journey and how well they've worked through loss. Now, to be fair, most widows and widowers are still grieving and trying to put their life back together when they start dating. I know I certainly was when I was dating again, but their answer does give you some insight as to where they are in the process and whether or not that's something you want to be patiently work through with them as they build a new life and a new chapter with you. So, the second question to ask a widow or widower on a first date is, how do your friends and family feel about you dating again? Now, unless they have minor children living at home, widows or widowers aren't required to let anyone know that they're dating again. But being upfront with family and friends, especially adult children, can make the transition smoother when a serious relationship develops. If they haven't told anyone they're dating, that's fine, but it does show that there's some future conversations they're going to have before your relationship can get serious. After all, you're not a mistress or some dirty little secret. You're a person, and they don't have to give everyone a play-by-play, but they should let people know that they're dating again if they're looking for a serious relationship at some point. Now, if they have told others and they face resistance from their kids, in-laws, or close friends, that could lead to future complications. I do a lot of coaching sessions about people who are upset that they're dating again, and their response can show how they handle challenges and whether they're willing to make space for a new relationship despite outside opinions. And resistance from others isn't a red flag, but it does indicate issues you both have to navigate in the future. Okay, third question to ask a widow or widower on a first date is, what are you looking for in a relationship now? Now, not all widows and widowers have a clear vision of what they want, and that's important to know up front. Some can tell you they're looking for something serious, others are just dipping their toes back into dating. And if he or she is unsure or vague, it's not necessarily a red flag, but it may indicate that they're dating to fill an emotional void rather than genuinely looking for a new partner. Now, the clearer his or her answer, the easier it will be to determine if his or her goals to align with yours. I think it's important that you know what you want as well. So, like if marriage is important to you, and you're dating someone where they say, I'm just looking for a companionship or something casual, doesn't matter where they are in the grieving process, probably best to move forward. All right, now the fourth question to ask a widow or widower on a first date is, what's something you're excited about right now? Now, this question is just the conversation to the present and future rather than focusing on the past. And a widow or widower who has passions, hobbies, or goals is more likely to be emotionally available for a relationship. It also helps you see if he or she has a positive outlook on life or is still mired in grief. If they struggle to name anything or only bring up memories of their late spouse, that could be a sign they're not ready to fully open their heart at this time. Again, not necessarily a deal killer or a red flag, but it's good to have, when you build a new life, when you lose someone, there's a chapter 2 you have to create. Doesn't necessarily involve dating, but it does kind of involve resetting your life, figuring out your priorities, and filling your life with meaningful activities. All right. The fifth question to ask a widow or widower on a first date is, how do you like to spend your free time? Now, this kind of pairs with the last question, but widows and widowers often have more free time than they did before their spouse died, and how they spend that time can tell you a lot about their emotional state. Are they engaged in life? Are they trying new things? Are they maintaining friendships? Or are they still wrapped up in routines that revolve around their past life? So if most activities are tied to their past or they really don't have anything going on, you got to tread cautiously because you don't want to get in a relationship where you're filling a void. However, if they're exploring new interests or balancing the old with the new, it's a good indication they're kind of to a point where they can open their heart again to a serious relationship. All right, those are the 5 questions. What else do you think you should ask or not ask a widow or widower on a first date? Go ahead and pop those questions in the comments below. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and I'll see you all next Wednesday.